Now, waste management is one of the greatest headaches for many African nations. Statistics show that only 4% of waste is recycled worldwide, and this includes water. Well, Israel leads in wastewater management at 90%, with the water being used for irrigation. Well, Kenya has been urged to emulate this. Here now is NTV's Kennedy Morethi with lessons from Israel.
A drive through the southern part of Israel as you head to the Negev region takes you through the lush green fields that are currently under irrigation. This is Israel's breadbasket. Israel was initially a desert, but innovations over time have led the country to turn the tide and is currently exporting food to neighboring nations. One of the main reasons for Israel's change in its fortunes is the country's capacity to recycle wastewater and use it for irrigation. Here, 90% of wastewater is recycled.
Whether in traffic or in the estates that we live, you must have seen an exhauster lorry that has funny names like Hanisaka or whatever you have seen them being christened. But here in Israel, it is big business.
The coarse waste is filtered out of it. Pieces of fabric, wooden parts, plastics, metals, and moist towelettes, mini towelettes, and more.
At the Shafdan, south of Tel Aviv, a recycling plant sits. Across the whole country, which is the size of Kajiado County, all wastewater from flushing toilets to shower water is directed to recycling plants. The wastewater is treated in different stages. The recycling plant operates around the clock. The main goal is to make sure there is enough water for irrigation in the country. The water is, however, not used for drinking, and there are laws against that.
The filtered wastewater is moved to 42 velocity reduction canals, where the sludge settles at the bottom. This primary sludge will then flow for further treatment. The wastewater continues for treatment in the bioreactors. Not all germs are born bad. Some happen to be very beneficial.
The recycling plant has played a major role in ensuring the country's food security.
This is a representation of a toilet in a big plant where all the waste that comes from this country is recycled, and that water that you either flush or you shower with, together with all the waste that comes with it, is put into big business. This water that comes out of the waste that is collected goes back into farming. Remember that Israel is a big desert, but these pipes that we are being shown here are connected and are a common feature in most parts of this country, be it in town, be it in the houses, or wherever it is in Tel Aviv and all the places, and all this goes into recycling.
The major food supply of Israel's cultivated land is from the Negev. That's the majority, and it's from this part of the Negev. It's this part. It's called the northern part of the Negev. It's where I live also. And this is where you see the huge fields, endless fields, cultivated land, unfertile land, but with fertilizers and irrigation, it's cultivated.
In the fields of the Negev, the fruits of irrigation are evident.
And his plan is to go back to Kenya.
Researchers spend most of their time monitoring the crops and reporting to the ministry involved on the best practices for farmers.
We want to understand how to fertilize better, to improve fertilization practices of the avocado orchard. So this is why we are building this matrix of different levels of potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen, and microelements. And then we are checking several years, monitoring the crop in the trees, how they are growing, later on also the yield, do a lot of analysis, and then we know, all right, the avocado trees in this time of the year need such and such potassium, such and such phosphorus, such and nitrogen. Then we can apply it later on to the orchards in the farmers' fields. There is this Wi-Fi connection, so you can see it online what's going on with the tree in every specific moment. So now you can see now, or not me, the researcher that working, you can see the data of this specific tree.
So each of these trees is connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
and you can measure it.
Yeah. You can see this changing online. Yeah.
An agreement was signed. The students were 120 per year. Our initial program was focusing on training 600 students, but with time, and I have to say this is because of the good performance by Kenyan students, it has now been opened up, and there's no limit as to when it will come to an end. If anything, we are actually increasing the numbers. So this last year they took 149, last cohort, and this year they have brought 200, and there are indications that the number may even go further. These are students drawn from our university and institutions who are doing an advanced agriculture program.
At the moment, there are Kenyan students who have been enrolled in the program with the hope that the technology can be replicated back at home. Kennedy Murevi, NTV.
Well, that is the hope, that lessons can be learned and implemented as well.